All right, welcome back. Now, as we usher in the 4th year since the promulgation of the new constitution, the word devolution has featured in many spheres. In fact, devolution has formed the basis of the many hopes that Kenyans across the country are holding on to, from better services to development. These are the many promises that devolution has in store for Kenyans. However, there are some people who feel very little or nothing at all has been done to spearhead the realization of devolution. Now, we want to talk about that, and it's more of a debate here. And we have Honorable Dennis Waweru, who is the Member of Parliament, Dagoretti South constituency. Welcome to the Power Breakfast Show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, welcome. And we have Honorable Njuki Muthomi, who is the Member of Parliament of Chuka Igamba Ngombe constituency.
Good morning.
Welcome. So, talking of devolution, by the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Good to see you. So, devolution, I mean, we're entering into the 4th year. Let's start with you, Honorable Waweru. What is your take on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to devolution?
I think we have, I would give it maybe 3 out of 10. And we still have a long way to go to be able to achieve the intended purpose of devolution, which we seem to have got it wrong. For me, I think devolution was informed by the need, and I would like to specify this because I think it has not been properly understood that devolution has more to do with decisions being made at the lowest level, because we are still a unitary state, but what was devolved was that function of being able to make decisions at a county level, which I think has been misunderstood to mean maybe like a federal state where we have a relationship of a principal, agent-agent relationship. And I think we should understand that what actually devolution meant was a principal and an agent who has limited mandate to be able only to make decisions for that particular county.
All right. So to you, to the extent that decisions generally have not been made at the lowest level, devolution has not necessarily kicked off.
The concept of devolution and what was in the mind of the framers of the Constitution was for people to be able to manage their own affairs at the county level. And it is actually consultative in nature. It's like when you look at subsidiary. Say, for example, when you are running an institution like a bank and you want decisions to be made at a branch level, for example, in a layman's language. And that was the whole idea of having a devolved system of government, which we have misunderstood to mean some independent, not autonomous units. So you find, for example, counties which are supposed to be making decisions only, because we only devolved that function, but not authority. And that has been an issue which we have wasted a lot of unnecessary time on.
Let's get your perspective, Honorable Muthomi. You could give us, on a scale of 1 to 10, how far have we gone in terms of devolving institutions?
I would say, I think my friend, in his opinion, has been a bit harsh on this issue. Because you look at the whole concept of devolution, it may have been set out in the Constitution that was promulgated in 2010. But the real walk through devolution started with the election that were held in 2013. And look at today, we are hardly a year from the date that the county government started operating. And if you look at what is set out in the Constitution on how the devolved government should actually, or the function should be devolved, it gives a period of 3 years, and that is why we have the TA, the Transition Authority, in place to actually babysit this baby up to the time when it's able to walk. But apparently, in Schedule 4, Part 2, it sets out the particular functions that are supposed to be devolved within that period of 3 years. But what the implementers have done currently is that they have devolved most of those functions, like health, agriculture, and all that. And my feeling is that the county government may not have been very ready to be able to handle all those things at the same time. So we still have that teething problem. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it, based on the fact that it has only taken place in less than 8 months, I would give it a scale of 5 to 10.
5 to 10.
Yes.
So I get the aspect of it is still early in the time to basically say we're doing nothing or we're doing very little about devolution. There's something that he raised about decisions being made at the lowest level. What is your take on that?
Okay, I'll again go back to the Constitution. The Articles 174, in particular B, 1B, 74, it shows clearly that one of the objectives of the devolution was to ensure that we decentralize services, particularly from the capital city. That's what the Constitution says, to the county level, where these services, the mwananchi or the local leadership can be able to take active participation in exactly how these roles should be given to them and how they should be implemented. And that has been the teething problem, because the devolution, the devolved functions have been seen as the mandate of the governor and the county executives, so that the involvement of the local leaders has been very limited. And when they backfire, most of the times the county government wants to blame it on the national government, which actually causes that confusion of pull and push. And that is why we, as a National Assembly, we are meant to support what has been brought about by the bill that has been passed by the Senate on the County Development Board, because that is going to put on a table the involvement by all the National Assembly members and the Senate, and of course the governor and the woman rep, and because those are the people's representatives.
The question
the
is,
decision.
If I go to the village,
Yes.
where I come from, in the village in a constituency, and I see the men and women of that village, what difference is there to them that now we have devolved and before?
And that is why I'll go back to the Constitution and Article 174 C, which gives that function, devolve that function of involving the common mwananchi in the decision making. So, and that has been lacking, and you can imagine even some of these counties, you find a governor who is making decisions like without consulting even elected leaders. So you can only imagine what happens even to the common mwananchi. They are totally not involved in the decision making, and that has been an issue. We have seen some counties where there is fighting all over, decisions are made left, right and center, headquarters, levies. I came across some articles today in the newspaper where we are having extra taxes, and that is why I was trying to define in generality the idea behind devolution was basically to bring down decision making to the level of county, which has not actually happened.
But Mr. Mizuki, tell me how the same issue. What's the difference between when there was no devolution and now? If I'm a man in the village with my 2 cows, what difference would I notice?
I get your feeling, Waweru-MP, is that you as a mwananchi,
as an
who has come from a county,
in my Dagani home,
you wanted to see real change on your doorstep. You wanted to see a better road. You wanted to see maybe water running in your neighborhood. And I would say all these things is in the implementation by the implementers of this devolution. And again, I go back to the governors, because money has been allocated, all right? But you see, while the functions have been involved, like health, if you go to the local health center, it's just most of them are the same way they were before. However, we have their budgets and their promises that things are going to change, and those are the promises we are saying we want them to be changed now to reality. The problem has been,
has anything changed? Anything?
A few things that have changed.
Like what?
I think things have changed. I would say I would not speak for most of the counties.
In your county,
yes, I would say in our counties a few things have changed, in that we are now able to see the governors launching roads, and they have started doing the grading and the marraming, especially in my county. Although I would say it's too little, I don't want to say too little, too late. We expected more, of course. But I was going to say the priorities for the governor is what may have brought about this delay in implementing the service that Mwananchi will see as a change. Because if you look at most of the budget,